What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Christian J Show celebrates Black History. Now, like I said in my last video, this month is all about Black history, and we're going to be talking about Black history on my podcast because Black history is American history. No matter how many times people say that, oh, well, we don't need a Black History Month, or we don't need this, we don't need that, or where there's, oh, where's my month? Where's my month? Your month is every single day. Your month is every month. All 12 months, all 365 days. Your month is every month. Because some people try to diminish Black history, they try to diminish Black people as a whole, but yet still, though, they love what they can get from us, will take from us. They love what they can do, they love what we can do, so they could take it from us and then try to do something else. Now, this episode is about our Black leaders. So you have your civil rights leaders and all different type of Black leaders in the Black community. So I felt like when I was in school, we always learned about Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and what's her name? Oh, Harriet Tubman. Child, I forgot for a second. We have heard all about those three. Look, they're the big three. We know all about them. My thing is, what about these other Black leaders? What about Malcolm X? What about Thurgood Marshall? W.E.B. Du Bois? Medgar Evers? Like, come on, can we talk about somebody else? I mean, I love Martin and Rosa and Harriet and all that, but we know their story. We know it. We've heard it. We heard it so many times, and the fact that Rosa was actually the second person to not move from her seat. She was the second because I did some digging. I was doing some digging. I had to bring out the old trusty iPad. I did some digging. Let me see, can I find that article, because she no Rosa was not the first one to give her seat for a white passenger. The first woman to refuse to give her seat was Claudette Clover. Hope I said it right, Clover. Claudette Claudette. Because Claudette is an activist who was a pioneer in the civil rights movement in Alabama during the 1950s. She refused to give her seat on a bus months before Rosa Parks' famous protest. So, she was, okay, where's that, where it said how old she was. She was, I think it says 14. Yeah, 14, 15. She was 15-year-old. She was a 15-year-old girl who refused to give up her seat for a white passenger. And, of course, that didn't make the headlines. Rosa's own did, because everybody knows that that's the famous one. But Claudette was the first one. And I feel like we need to give credit where credit's due with Claudette. That's how I feel. I feel like we should give Claudette the credit that she deserves. Now, civil rights leaders, we all know the story about Martin Luther King Jr. And actually, there was a thing going around that Martin was actually alive in the hospital. I think I saw it. Somewhere. As y'all know, I be forgetting. where I saw it at. But I remember I saw it, and they said that okay, James Earl Ray shot Martin Luther King. We all know that story. We all know he shot him while Martin was on the balcony. And it said that Martin actually recovered from surgery, but a nurse went into his room and smothered him with a pillow. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I am going to find out how true it is. And if it's true, okay. But if it is not true, okay. Now, most people said that was just from a stabbing he had, but I don't know. But all of that is alleged that the nurse smothered him with a pillow. That's alleged. Let me go ahead and put that out there now. All of that are just allegations. It's alleged. I don't know if it's true or not, but all of that is allegedly that happened. Because I ain't got time for nobody to be trying to send me a cease and desist or serving me with some papers because baby, I ain't got it. I ain't got it. Okay. So all of that, what I just said was alleged. That's what I heard. Now, don't know if it's true or not, but that's just allegations. All that is just alleged. We don't know what really happened. Only the people back then know. And the other civil rights leader I want to talk about is Medgar Evers. Medgar Evers heroically spoke out against racism in a deeply divided South. He fought against Jim Crow laws, protested segregation in education, and launched an investigation into the Emmett Till lynching. If you do not know who Emmett Till is, Emmett Till was a 14-year-old boy who was lied on by Carolyn Bryant, who is now dead. Hold on, let me make sure. Let me make sure she is, because I don't know. You need nobody talking about, oh, he wishing death. Nope, she's dead. Nope. Nope, she died on April 25th, 2023. So, yeah. She lied on him, said that he whistled at her. And so she had her husband and his half brother and a couple of their friends go after him, beat him, tie him, lynch him, put us so many graphic details. I'm not going to go all the way into it because every time I hear about that story, every time I read about that story, and every time I look at that story, it's just. I remember there was a Emmett Till miniseries on TV one time, and I remember I watched it. Yeah, it was called Women of the Movement, and it was in 2022. I think you can catch it on Hulu, if I'm not mistaken. You can catch it on Hulu. It is the story of baby Tim. Ooh, y'all forgive me. I have a cold and I cannot talk correctly, so if I mispronounce a word, don't get upset. But it is the story of Mamie Tim Mobley, Mobley, who devoted her life to seeking justice for her son Emmett Till following his brutal murder in the Jim Crow South. So it is an emotional story, and that show, I remember I saw it, kind of bits and pieces, but then it actually intrigued me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and watch the whole show, watch the whole episode and everything. And they had like they showed how his body was, all the cuts and bruises, and it just sent chills down my spine. And I remember I was watching it with my mom, and I remember after the show had went on had ended, because it was just like a mini series. It wasn't uh like a 20 episode. I don't. It wasn't a whole 20 episode series. It was just a 6 episode thing. And I remember after that episode, my mom had got up and she hugged me. And I remember she hugged me. She was crying because look, I'm her older child, and she was like, she don't ever want to go through that. And any parent who, and specifically black parents who only have one child, and if those children are boys, it's, to be honest, it's hard for parents who only have one child and they are boys to protect the black boys, because there are so many things out here trying to get young black men, and you have people have these stereotypes of black men, of black boys basically, that all black boys are just going to be in gangs, or all black boys are going to do this, all black boys are going to do that. With actuality, some black boys aren't even like that. Some black boys are actually intelligent, but people have this stereotype of black boys that we're not going to amount to anything. And then when we actually amount to something, now it's a different tune, or now they have to change it around, like, oh, diversity hire. Like, diversity where? No, we got hired because we're qualified. You ain't qualified. I don't know what to tell you, but you ain't qualified. But so many people have this stereotype of black people, black boys, black girls. Like, black girls, oh, they're always loud, they're ghetto, they do this, they do that, blah 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 blah. Blah. But actually, that's not even how black girls are. That's not. And then you have the stereotype of black boys. That's not how we are. Like, come on now. I need y'all to get together. But you can find that show on Hulu. It's called Women of the Movement. And back to Medgar Evers, because I got all off topic about Medgar Evers, but still. He served as the first NAACP field officer in Mississippi. So Evers began his journey as a civil rights activist when he and 5 friends were turned away from a local election at gunpoint. He had just returned from the Battle of Normandy in World War II, and realized fighting for his country did not spare him from racism or giving him equal rights. So no matter what you do, there's always going to be somebody trying to find a way to bring you down. And my thing is, why y'all didn't let him just vote? It's a local election. He served his country. I'm pretty sure that makes him an American, a bona fide American. I'm pretty sure that does. But no, people don't see black people as that. They don't see us as bona fide Americans. Evers gained notoriety in the eyes of white supremacists after becoming involved in two high-profile Mississippi cases. His public investigations into the 1955 lynching of 14-year-old Emmett Till and the 1960 conviction of Clyde Kennard, a black civil rights activist framed for crimes he did not commit. Of course, that's still happening today. Black people are still being locked up for crimes they did not commit. There was, what's that man name? I can almost get the tip of my tongue. It's that man. He was locked up, and hold on, I think I remember that man. Is it Marshall? No, no. I remember. His name was Marcellus Williams. He was framed for a crime that he did not commit, and this happened in Missouri, and this happened last year. Is it Missouri executes Marcellus Williams despite prosecutors and the victim's family asking that he be spared. I remember this was all on TikTok and everything. They were calling for Missouri's governor to do something to stop the execution of Marcellus Williams because the prosecution they didn't have nothing. They have no evidence, but he didn't do it. The U.S. Supreme Court action came after the Missouri Supreme Court and governor refused the grant to stay of execution. Williams was convicted in 2001 for killing Felicia Gale, a former newspaper reporter found stabbed to death in her home in 1998. And Williams said he did not do it since then. He said he did not do it. And all the evidence that they had, no DNA of Williams or anything. No DNA. But, yeah. They said he did it. My thing is, did y'all give him a polygraph test to see was he telling the truth? Probably not. First of all, did you even search the crime scene? Did you even search his house? Did you do the fingerprint to see that half of that match? Did anything match his fingerprints, or did you do anything to see that his DNA was at the crime scene? Attorneys on both sides trying to intervene. Said that need to let him go, but Missouri's Attorney General office said that the new DNA findings released back in August of last year did not exonerate him. Really? It did? It said in this case, a new round of DNA testing proved the officer was right all along. The knife in question had been handled by many actors, including law enforcement, since being found. So basically, you can't do anything because the whole evidence was tampered with. I guess everybody wasn't wearing gloves these days. The St. Louis prosecuting attorney's office, which handled the trial against Williams, argued in the motion that the DNA testing of the knife used in the killing might suggest that Williams was not the killer. But that effort unraveled at a circuit court hearing in August after new DNA testing revealed that the murder weapon had been mishandled prior to prior to the 2001 trial, contaminating the evidence meant to exonerate Williams, complicating his quest to prove innocence. Okay, if my thing is, if the murder weapon was mishandled and he said he did do it, why y'all ain't trying to find no type of way to see? Okay, he did do it. Let's see, can we find some more evidence? Because the knife ain't added up no more. The knife has got the window because it's mishandled. But you ain't trying to find no type of way. You ain't trying to find nothing to exonerate the man. He said he didn't do it. But these people, they don't listen these days. They don't. Now back to Medgar Evers. White supremacists made several attempts on Evers' life before succeeding in June 12th, 1963, after pulling into his driveway and getting out his car, carrying NAA t-shirts reading Jim Crow Must Go. Evers was shot in the back and died at a local hospital. Less than an hour later, he was murdered just hours after President John F. Kennedy's speech on national television in support of civil rights. A member of the KKK, Byron D. La Beckwith, was arrested for Evers' murder, but remained free after all-white juries twice deadlocked on his guilt. 3 decades later, justice was finally served when De La Beckwith was found guilty of Evers' murder and sent to prison in his 70s. Really? So it took 3 decades later for you to finally lock up the man who shot Medgar Evers. If it took you 3 decades later to finally lock up this man, and he's in there in his 70s. I don't know, he might still be alive. I don't know. Let me check this out. Because if he ain't, I know something. But if he is, I know something as well. Let me check this thing out. Nope. He's dead too. He died January 21st, 2001. Cool. Yeah. So you mean to tell me three decades later? Yeah. And the people, the children the women that have children with these people who was a part of the KKK. I wonder what how their children feel, knowing that their parents were active members of the KKK to get rid of black people. I wonder how they feel. I wonder, do they have any remorse for the black families? I wonder. That baffles me, to be honest. I wonder, do they have any remorse for what their parents did? And then, mind you, half of these people are named after the KKK member. They're juniors, baby. You need to give them another name. Give them another name. Because going through life with your name, baby, please, not today. Now, we could talk about leaders, civil rights leaders all day long because what they went through for us is deserves to be told. And right now, this day and time, what we're going through now, we have to learn about our history. And it shows me that a lot of people, they aren't used to just get up and fighting. They're waiting for somebody to come fight for them. When Kendrick Lamar performed at the Super Bowl Sunday, he sent a message. He had Uncle Sam played by Samuel Jackson, and in that in his show, um, I am forgetting what's going on in his show. It was basically like a prison yard with game controllers. With you know how the PlayStation things is the X, the triangle, the controller thing, you know, and wow, just y'all when he okay, I had to get myself together real quick. It's like I had to remember what was going on. Okay, so when he had Samuel Jackson dance Uncle Sam, he Samuel said, "This is the great American game, and you play it the way America wants you to play it," which means do what they want you to do. As I'm putting it plainer in simpler terms, do what they want you to do. Don't do what you want to do. But I feel like the thing that everybody's talking about with the Super Bowl with his halftime performance was that he said, "Say Drake," and he looked at the camera and smiled. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, he dissed Drake, he dissed Drake, he dissed Drake." Okay, but there was much more than that going on. Like there was much more. Like that wasn't the only thing that was there. And we heap for humble, and he had all his dances in red, white, and blue, and he was standing right. Was it humble or something? I think it was another song he had sung, and he was standing right there in the middle, and that was showing a nation divided. Because hello, newsflash, we are divided. That's what we are. We're divided as a nation, and now you have people say, "Oh, I regret this, I regret that." No, you don't regret a thing. You don't regret nothing. You did this. So have fun. You did that. You did it. So you should enjoy it. Yeah, enjoy. And I feel like a lot of people was looking for Kendrick, Kendrick to do like what Usher did. You know how Usher did last year in the Super Bowl? He rolled around on skates and he did how many outfit changes and he had all this, that, and the third. People expected Kendrick to do that. No. What y'all have to understand about Kendrick Lamar, he is not one to do all of that. He he can, but this wasn't the time. I mean, this was the time to do all of that because it's the halftime show. But this really wasn't the time. He wanted to get a message out. As anyway, and it wasn't a party. The stage wasn't a party. It was a prison yard representing. Let's see how we have been trapped, and this was to the black people. Yeah, sorry, y'all. The rest of y'all didn't get it, so sorry. But like somebody said, Taylor Denise Richards on X said, the stage wasn't a party, it was a prison yard, representing how we've been trapped, dancing for a system. Kendrick showed us the game we're playing, but it's time to stop dancing and start thinking. This isn't just about music, it's about the culture, how we protect each other and our art form. Those from, art from those who want to taint it. Kendrick made it clear there are no place for plants like Drake. Say Drake. Child, I was tickled. Who push harmful agendas. The system is designed to distract and divide. And those who were bored or confused by the show are proof it's working. Kendrick is reminding us that this is bigger than rap. It is about revolution and reclaiming our power. And for those who didn't get it, maybe it's time to stop choosing entertainment over education. True art like Kendrick's isn't always flashy. It's meant to challenge, and that's why it matters. And if you didn't get it and was focused on being entertained in the state we are in right now in America, then maybe it's time for you to wake up. And I see everybody saying, oh, Lil Wayne would have done better. Lil Wayne would have done better. Okay. Okay, now I like Lil Wayne. But you have to admit that he ain't where he was back in the day. Back then. He ain't where he was back then. He has got a little older. And he is not performing like he used to perform. He is not doing what he used to do. And to be honest, his performances aren't even all that anymore. He performed at Essence Festival and people were saying they could barely even hear him saying the words or anything. But my thing is, all of y'all that wanted Lil Wayne to perform, do y'all think that y'all would have y'all would have been talking about that man? Yeah. Y'all would talk. He was the worst halftime pick ever. Oh, all he did was bubble on the stage. He didn't do nothing. See, y'all always want these people to do this, that, and the third, but then when they actually do it, now all of a sudden, now they can't do this, they can't do that, they are wrong, this, that, and the third. Well, what do y'all want from these people? Do you want them to get up there and do what they were born to do, or do you want them to do what you want them to do? And as Taylor said, this wasn't about white people. It wasn't. So it was about those who control the media and the industry and manipulate us for their benefit. And I remember Beyonce, 2023, when she went on her Renaissance tour. And before it got to America Has a Problem, it had up there said whoever controls the media controls the mind. And that's true. So, like Tiffany just said, that it's about those who control the media. Beyonce was saying that too at her tour, said whoever controls the media controls the mind. Hello, we see it. I been saw it. All these people controlling the mind. The media just controlling the mind, and half of y'all are too dense to see it. But back to our leaders. Back to, back to, ooh. Now, one leader I feel like we don't talk about enough is Malcolm X. Malcolm X, no, everybody said he was like the bizarro Martin Luther King. Like Martin Luther King wanted peace. Malcolm X wanted to basically charge and do this, that, the third. Like go ahead and fight basically. Like Martin wanted peace. He wanted to go ahead and get it done. Pop, pop, pop. So Malcolm X, he was a Muslim. I did not know that. He advocated for black separatism and empowerment within the Nation of Islam. He criticized King's movement and the March on Washington as a farce, but he later distanced himself from that and criticized the Nation of Islam. Yeah. And he was assassinated by NOI members in 1965. Yeah. And I remember the movie Malcolm X. Was there black people that killed him? No. Yeah. Okay. Malcolm started receiving death threats at home, and in February of 1965, his house was firebombed, and he was assassinated 1 week later in Harlem by the Nation of Islam. So, yeah, show by his own people that he was with before. My thing is, how can you shoot the person that you was just rocking with? Like how? Like how can you do that to people that you were just cool with? Mm-hmm. Malcolm X movie on Hulu. And I think it was black Muslims. I think there were black Muslims that shot him. I think it was. Now, if you black and you shooting somebody else, and they're trying to help us fight for our freedom and our rights, and you shooting them, something's wrong with you. Something very wrong with you if you are shooting somebody who is trying to fight for our rights and freedoms. I'm sorry, something's very wrong with you. We have Thurgood Marshall. I think I did a project about him. Thurgood Marshall was the first black Supreme Court justice in the United States, serving from 1967 to 1991. W.E.B. Du Bois was an American sociologist, socialist, historian, and Pan-Africanist civil rights activist. He was one of the founding members of the NAACP. Shirley Chisholm became the first black woman to be elected in the United States Congress. Chisholm represented New York's 12th congressional district, and she served for 7 terms. So, Shirley Chisholm, recognize Shirley Chisholm, all right? Who can forget Barack Obama was the first ever African American president and served 2 terms and made noteworthy speeches and everything. One of the best presidents we ever had. Yes. And my girl, Kamala Harris. Now I know somebody like, oh, Kamala's not black. Baby, she's black. She's black. This girl is black. In 2021, Kamala Harris became the first black and the first South Asian American and the first woman vice president in the United States. And we could have had her with Kamala. We could have. But I feel like she will be making her return. I feel like she will be ready for 2028. Hopefully. Hopefully, maybe this right here was not the time. I don't know. All I know is I'm ready for we're ready for a change. America was not ready for a woman president, let alone a black woman president, let alone a South Asian American president. They America wasn't ready. America wasn't. But overall, Kamala was it. She checked all the boxes. But sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. But overall, Kamala was it. She was it. That's why I love me some Kamala. Baby. she could laugh now. I feel like if I met Kamala, me and her would be good friends. Or me and her we will be laughing. Yeah. Maya Angelou was an American. She had the memoirist, poet, and civil rights activist. She published 7 autobiographies, 3 books of essays, and 7 books of poetry. Also credited with the list of plays, movies, and TV shows spanning over 50 years. She received dozens of awards and more than 50 honorary degrees. Now everybody should know who Maya Angelou is. Baby Tyler had her in Medea's family reunion. And he even quoted one of her poems. I think that was one of her poems. But anyway, he did it in her voice. But then goes to the other play. If someone shows you who they are, believe them. And then in Medgar family reunion, in and out, in and out, in and out of time. That is Maya Angelou. Mary McLeod Bethune was an American educator, philanthropist, humanitarian, womanist, and civil rights activist. Jesse Jackson is an American civil rights activist, politician, and ordained Baptist minister. You know we Baptists. John Lewis was a civil rights activist who served in the United States House of Representatives for Georgia's 5th Congressional District from 1987 until his death in 2020. So that he had a long career in House of Representatives. Okay. So let's not ever discredit black people and our contributions to history. Okay. All right. So that's all the time I have for y'all today. Tune in next time for another episode of the Christian J Show celebrates Black History.